guys, welcome to the video. I'm sitting outside for this one because it's such nice weather, and before the winter comes, I just want to enjoy the sun, while I can. Anyway, today I'm going to be talking about GCSEs, but I'm going to be talking about Drama GCSE. So if you've clicked on this video just to see my tips, then carry on watching. If you are new, please go subscribe down below. But if you're not interested in what I have to say about Drama GCSE, no problem. Click off, maybe go binge some of my other videos, or maybe just watch the next one. But I'm just going to be talking about Drama GCSE today. Basically, on my results day video, if you haven't seen that yet, go watch that now. Obviously opened my results and I got a 9 in drama, whoop whoop, and I've had loads of you guys comment or message me please can you do some tips, give us some tips or tell us how you got your 9 in drama. I'll be honest, don't expect to watch this video and get a 9 in drama. Obviously you've got to put the work in. My tips might not work for you, but this is personally what I did. So yeah, basically I'm just going to tell you guys, I've written up a load of tips. I'm just going to tell you guys the main tips and things to how I got my 9 in drama. How many times do I want to say tips? If you enjoyed this video, find it helpful, please leave a like on the video. And if you want to add me on my social medias, all the links will be in the description so you can talk to me, maybe ask me further questions. So in the Drama GCSE, you might be watching this to try and work out if you want to take drama or not. You might be in year 10 and you've got drama. You might be in year 11 and you're struggling with drama. But basically, so I'm pretty sure for I was technically with AQA, the exam board AQA, and then our exam officer entered us in for the wrong exam, so we ended up having to switch to Edexcel in the January, and our exam was in May. So if I could get a 9 with the swapping the exam board, then you guys obviously can. But yeah, so practical, our one was 60% practical, 60%, oh god, I can't speak today, 60% practical, 40% theory, I'm pretty sure. So practical is very important. Obviously, if you think that you're a bit of a shy person, you struggle with performing in front of people, I don't think drama's for you. Honestly, if you're good at English and you have the ability to act, the ability to speak in front of people, you'll be able to ace drama. Because the theory, if you're good at English lit, you will get the theory. It's easy if you understand English. If you're a student who doesn't mind drama and likes English, definitely do drama. But yeah, so the practical was 60%. On my exam board Edexcel, there's 2 parts of the practical. So there's scripted and there's devised. So for my devised piece, basically devised you make up yourself, you're in a group, and scripted you get given a script. We had to have a script from the 19th century, which some people may argue they prefer, some people might argue they dislike. We had to have a script from the 19th century because for the theory, the play we were studying, which was DNA, is 2000s onwards. But without naming any names, let's just say my devised group wasn't my favourite. There were people in there I didn't necessarily get on with, I disagreed with their directing and things like that. So it is really, the devising is hard. I mean, so is the scripted. You might not like your scripted group, but the practical's hard if you just don't like your group. I often find lots of people who do drama are quite pushy people, are always wanting to be the leader. So it's hard to get your way, especially when it's devised, because you literally do the parts yourself, you write the script yourself. You might end up being one of those people who just lets everyone else get on with it, end up getting 5 lines when someone else gets 50 lines. They obviously are going to be able to achieve that level 9. You're only going to be able to achieve a 5 because you haven't done anything to impress the examiner. So make sure, obviously you don't want to go crazy, make sure it's fair between you guys with the devised, and also don't over compensate with the story. I found that my group and I spent weeks trying to think of this amazing story with amazing plots, when really you just had to get all the technical sides down. So hymns, hands and stuff like that, you'll be taught all of that. I'd say I definitely preferred the scripted to the devised. I really liked the creative part. I really enjoyed creating and doing all of that. but I found it easier just to go from a script, really. But then again, you could argue that divides. So basically, my character had a monologue and said other lines and other pieces. I did multi-rolling, so I had more than one character for my devise. But you could say like devise is easy because you might mess up on your monologue, but no one would know because you could just make up on the spot. You could make it up on that exam day. You could just start rambling on about random rubbish. The examiner would never know because they don't have a script set in stone. But I still found it quite hard thinking and creating something good. But obviously the examiner enjoyed it. But yeah, if there's people in your group that are literally not pulling their weight, not doing anything, my advice, don't stress about it. Honestly, focus on yourself, because at the end of the day, you all get marked separately. If they decide they don't want to be paying attention or do anything, they can end up messing up on the day, saying about 3 lines. They're going to not pass, probably. And if anything, it juxtaposes with how your performance is, and it will make you look even better and get you that higher grade. Technically for the devised, actually, I keep forgetting this, devised, the examiner doesn't come in, you film that and send it off, but for the scripted, the examiner comes in. My group used a suitable amount of props and costumes. I thought that helped because it made me get into my character, and also, this is for the devised, it made it clear to the audience what my character is, because if you don't have like actual directions like you do on a script, it may be harder to make it clear to the audience. Like, you may have in your mind, oh, I want to be an old granny, but you need to make this clear to the audience still. So yeah, I found costumes and that helped, but you don't want to go crazy on that. Still got to think about your acting, you know, because you're getting assessed on your acting. You might get a costume person in your group and they can focus on that because they'll be getting graded on that. But seriously, just remember, you're getting graded on your acting and your techniques as you use as a group, so like hymns hand and stuff like that, not whether the story was good or not. Okay, so tips for the scripted. I don't know what tips I can do for that, really, just like what I did to learn my lines. We got my group, Honey, my favourite group ever, me, Grace and Honey, my 2 gals, smashed our scripted. Love you guys. We did a play called Teachers with 2 E's. You might have heard of it. Some of you guys might have it. I actually really enjoyed it. The thing is though, we got given, I'd say about 6 scenes we had to do, I think. And they were all in a weird order, and the play itself is really weird to understand. Like, it's a play about school kids who are doing a play about their school, so they're dressing up as their teachers and stuff, but it's about school kids. So you're acting like teachers, but at the same time you're acting like students pretending to be the teachers. So it's quite a tricky concept, really, to get your head around. But anyway, so we found that we had to like sort out the order properly, and that stressed us out. But the trick is just to not stress, you know. Look online. You can look online. There's other, like, we've looked on YouTube, there was so many other schools who had like their own teachers thing. We didn't want to entirely copy it though, we just used it as sort of a base to make sense more of the play. I honestly think if you do your research, it really helps. I went off and I googled teachers. I've read up about who wrote it, the main the other characters in the play, because you're only given a certain section of the play. If you read up about the whole play, obviously you don't have to read the whole play. If you want to do that, go for it. I didn't do that. That was too much. But I read up about mainly more of the whole play, got more of an understanding for each character, and it really helped with my characterization. It made me way more comfortable. And then learning lines, what I do to learn lines, I write them out. So I write them onto like a notepad or something. I record myself saying my lines, and I'm constantly playing it like in the shower, or I set it as my alarm to get up in the morning. Annoying, listen to my voice all the time. I find it annoying enough editing a YouTube video, but yeah. And when I'm playing my lines out, I'll obviously say them back. So say if I recorded like, hey guys, welcome to my channel, and I always played that, I'll go, hey guys, welcome to my channel with it. I found that really helps. I think the main thing is to block your scene a lot and then keep practicing it, because when you block your scene, you're adding movement to it, you're adding stage directions. And then say if it's like walk down stage with the line, hi Mary, so you're always going to remember when you walk down stage, you go, hi Mary, just stuff like that. Practicing with people as well really helps. Obviously it's ideal if you can practice with your group. Me, Honey and Grace would often FaceTime quite a bit just to read lines, run through, you know. I got my mum to read them with me, my sister. Just keep practicing. Practicing with someone else is good because you still technically, when you're learning lines, have to learn the other person, so you remember what line is your cue. I think it depends on what script you have, but for my script it was about the kids performing to their school. So what I did was, when I was performing, I had a few lines, like I said, "You're late," something like that, and I remember performing that to the examiner and engaging her, and I think she really liked that. I think you've got to work out whether you've got the right examiner for or not for that, you know. If you're allowed to break the fourth wall in your play, our script, we're allowed to break the fourth wall. We said a few monologues, so we're allowed to do something like that. But if it's not appropriate, then you can't do that. But I found that really engaged the examiner and got her, I gave her attention on me, you know. I feel like that's all I can say about practical, really. I can't really think of anything else to talk about for practical. Obviously I'm trying to keep this video as quick as it can be. I could go on for ages, but we'll move on to theory now. So the problem with theory is you do your practicals. We did our practicals in February and March, and didn't have our theory till May. So we'd finished in February, March, April, I think we'd finally finished, and we were like, oh, that's it, all that stress over, done with drama, done, zilch, not going to do anything now. But you can't do that because you've still got 40% of your grade for theory. You can't completely forget about it, so make sure you don't do that. The 10% coursework might be different for other ones, but we had 10% coursework and we had to write up a portfolio, but a portfolio about our devised piece. I found when I did this, I was like, oh, whatever, I can't be bothered. But that's still 10% of your grade. It's like saying you're putting in all that effort for the 60% of the practical, like learning all your lines. You may as well just do that extra 10% for the coursework. Even though it doesn't seem it, it could be the portfolio could be the one thing that gets you from an 8 to a 9. Okay, so drama theory, when I was doing it with 8QA, there were 3 sections. There was a first section where it was like a mini quiz, and it was like 5 marks, and it quizzed you on like roles of theatre, different like stuff like that. And then there was the second section which asks you questions about the play you studied. So it's like English literature. You study 3 books. So we studied like Christmas Carol, for example, and then wrote about it. Drama's the same, but it's one play, and instead of talking about the effect on the reader, it's more the effect on the audience and why the director chose to do that sort of style. But there's loads of different questions. The main thing with theory, the exam, I did EdXL, it was so short. It was an hour and a half, and there was about 3 hours worth of questions on there to answer. Like, I don't think there was a moment where I stopped to have a pause. It was just go, go, go. So 100% practice writing exam answers, definitely, and keeping them short and snappy and getting all the points. Because with English, you ramble, you go on loads, whereas drama, it's got to be straight to the point. There's nothing you can't overanalyze, you've got to be straight to the point. That's the one thing I found really hard transitioning from English lit to drama, because you're just comparing them. You can't overanalyze with drama. The main thing I'd say to mention in drama, Mr. Gardner, again, my teacher, drilled us into this. State the intention. Always state the intention. There was one question in my exam paper that tripped a lot of people up, and I started off to write it incorrectly, but thank God it suddenly clicked in my head I was doing it wrong. Basically, it was something like, in this scene, as a director, how would you go about using costume for the characters? Something like that. So when you read that, you're reading it in a rush, you just think, right, costume. So you'd say, I would give this character a shirt, and I would give this character a polo shirt. I'd give this character a shirt because they're quite scruffy and they can untuck it, but this character a polo shirt because they're more neat and have the buttons up. That is wrong. If you're going to talk about that, that's from the point of a costume designer, because the costume designer's talking about the different things. So this is why you really need to understand your roles of theatre. But it said a director, so instead you'd be like, I would direct Jimmy wearing the shirt to roll his sleeves up to make Billy scared, or whatever I said before. And I would direct Adam wearing the polo shirt to undo his top button when he says the line, "It's hot in here," basically. So you've got to be really careful with stuff like that, really understand your different theatre roles. Something that really helped me with my theory writing is keywords. Because you can't overanalyze what the character's doing, you've got to just use different keywords to add it in and boost it to the higher level. Keywords like gate, subtext, proxemics, things like that. Seriously, I can't stress enough, you should learn them. It pushes you into the top grade boundaries because you're using the correct language, and also the examiner will like the fact that you're using all grammatical terms. That's for the section about the play. If you don't fully like your play, don't worry about it. Just make sure you understand it. Something I did for revision, which is what another thing Mr. Gardner, shout to you, told us to do, is called actioning. You might have heard this, your teacher might have told you to do this. You go through the script and with a pencil or whatever, read each line and just action it. So like here I would shake his hand, or how the character's feeling there, like annoyed, something like that, just to get a full-on understanding for the script. Because really, it's still like from the view of you performing it, just you're writing down how you'd perform it. That's one of the questions anyway. So action your script, read your script more than once. Definitely read it more than once. Learn the context of the play, learn about the author. So ours was Dennis Kelly, and we learnt about how he used the play DNA to I can't really remember now, I did it so long ago, but he used like morality and stuff like that. I mentioned that in some of my answers. That would push my grade from like a 7 to an 8, definitely. You just got to really understand the play. It's hard. People just think, oh yeah, drama, it's easy. It is, honestly, it's hard. And it took me a while to understand the theory, but as soon as you get it and you understand the right way to write it, like intention, you structure it properly, you'll honestly get it. Okay, the last part of the theory is a live theatre review. So we went and watched Warhorse, and I did a live theatre review on that. I'll be honest, as long as you understand how to write, for like a drama thing, it doesn't entirely matter. So like I didn't pay my utmost attention, so it's not like gonna assess you on whether, if I said yeah this happened in Warhorse and it didn't, they're not gonna not give you a mark for that. It's how you analyse the like theatre work. I mean the questions change, so it's hard to say, but say if you got, I think the question we got was like, what scene was a key moment for the audience and why was it key and why did it engage them, or how did the actors do it, something like that. And I just analysed how they used gait around the stage and stuff like that, like movement basically, and they used their pitches and tones and stuff like that to do this. I mean it might not have been entirely accurate, it was from memory, but as long as I analysed it, I got full marks on my live theatre review. And I remember I hardly watched Warhorse, I won't lie. We got to bring in 100 words or something, and what you do on that, my best advice for that would be, if you look at the mark scheme, they have like different titles, so you write each different title and a few notes, different title, a few notes, to what each question could be. So I looked in there and I saw the 2 questions they gave me, lighting and key moment. So I looked in here, I went lighting, all my notes on that, key moment, all my notes on that, and just use that. That's another thing, they talk about lighting or sound or costume, so make sure you learn about lighting and sound, so like what gobos are, stuff like that, keywords like that, because that's really vital. Yeah, for our live theatre review we had the final question was like, how did they use lighting here? So I went on about how they used like a red Parcam wash with these Fresnels. I don't even know if that's accurate, but I still got the marks for it because it would make sense. A red spotlight would create a suspense for the audience, or blah blah blah, basically. I feel like I'm going to watch this back and be like, oh, I could have mentioned that. But honestly, off the top of my head and a few notes I've got here, that is the main things I did to get a 9 in drama. I mainly talked about what I wrote in the exam. For revision wise, action your script, read your script a couple of times, research, then that's for theory. Practical, practice, learn your lines so well, I can't stress that enough. Don't get beat up about other people in your group being bad. Don't put any energy in them. Focus on yourself because it's going to be marked each separately. and just enjoy it. I miss drama, I really do. I miss my class, miss my teacher. I remember stressing so much about the drama practical, like, oh, I just want it to be over, this is so horrible. But enjoy it. Thanks for watching, guys. If you found this helpful, please leave a like. If you want to talk to me about anything else to do with drama or whatever, add me on my social medias, we can talk there. Leave a comment maybe. If you want another GCSE video for some reason or whatever, leave a comment down below. And subscribe if you're new. Thanks for watching, guys. Good luck to anyone taking their GCSEs this year. And I'll see you in my next video. Bye!